It's always lit over at AJsRANTroom.com. We got the best bags and accessories, our beloved Black Series. We got fresh lids for you hat lovers, fire jackets and hoodies, and of course we got you covered on the t-shirts. And introducing our first shoe line, Aloysius Germain. So get on over to AJsRANTroom.com today and get to shopping. You won't be disappointed. What up? I'm your boy AJ. Welcome in, everybody. Hope all is good. Happy Friday. Hope everybody's good. Hope you had a great, fruitful, amazing, multiply, plentiful work week or whatever you did this week. Anyway, welcome in, y'all. We have a great show for you today. We have in our politics fix, we're gonna go over Little Somalia, aka Minnesota. Hopefully I got my Minnesotan accent right. Oh no, that's more Jamaican. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Anyway, so we have that in our uncomfortable conversation. We will discuss the ever-evolving mystery and the wrath of Miss Candace Owens herself. This seems to be the hot topic of the moment. Hopefully we won't have to appeal to anything after a couple of weeks and we can get back to business as usual. But right now, that's what the whole conservative sphere is buzzing about. So we're going to address it, and we're going to go over a little bit of her history in the political space and what she's been able to accomplish in 8 short years. In our Turntable Rewind segment, which is our music nostalgia segment, we're going to go back to the year 2007. We're going to give you the #1 album, the #1 song, and the #1 movie in the United States of America on this day. That year, we have an awesome throwback picture. It's one of my old headshots that I really love, so I wanted to share with y'all. Our Leave Me Alone segment, funny, gonna be funny. I laugh. That's probably the most inspirational part of doing this show is editing that segment, because I'm laughing as I'm editing, and it makes it just bearable because it's a lot when you're a one-man band. Anyway, and we have a great inspiration point that will leave you feeling all fuzzy and warm and happy inside that there are still good people in the world when nasty people try to prevail. Anyway, all that and more coming up on a RANT Experience. Thank you for tuning into the RANT Experience. This episode is brought to you by our official merch store, AJsRANTroom.com. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you get new uploads and live streams hot off the presses. We drop a new episode of the RANT Experience every Friday, and now it's time for a politics fix.
Investigators are finding in Minnesota is growing by the day. Kelly Loeffler, who leads the Small Business Administration, says in the 2 days her agency has been investigating the state, they've uncovered at least $1 million in PPP fraud just 2 days in. Several of the whistleblowers in Minnesota have also told lawmakers they believe the total amount of fraud could total up to more than $8 billion. Governor Tim Walz, who is up for re-election, is under fire for all of this happening under his watch, but he says they have paused these programs. They've brought in outside auditors to get an idea of how far-reaching this fraud was. They're taking steps to keep it from happening again, and he's defending his management of the state while also taking shots at Republicans and the president.
And in spite of the headwinds we're up against, Minnesota ranks economically, economic growth, happiness, number of people insured, education levels, near the very top. So I'll tell you what, I have no interest in having this state look like Oklahoma or Mississippi. And if folks are going to commit crimes here, thinking because our generous spirit and our programs that we have is going to give them some kind of cover, they are sadly mistaken.
Yeah, Minnesota is also now home to the single largest pandemic fraud scheme in the country. And Republicans argue that Walz and other Democrats opened the door to this.
All right. This is the Politics Fix segment. We could do whatever we want here. It would be history, current events, hot topics. Obviously, today we're doing a hot topic. Let's be very, very clear. I'm gonna start by asking this question because apparently, when these people get called out, there's always some issue that has to be redirected somewhere else. So, why is it that every time these so-called cosmopolitan liberals get exposed for their little nefarious late night activities, states like Oklahoma, Alabama, Mississippi, they always end up catching strays? Like, what did they do to you? How did they get in the beef? Every time the fancy coastal elites get caught red-handed, suddenly it's, oh, look at the look at those backwards red states. Nah, bro, cut it out. Because here's the funny part. And when I say funny, I mean I don't mean like funny, ha ha ha. I mean you can't make this mess up, or as my friend Craig Long says, you can't make this shit up. The Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins said she asked all 50 states to hand over basic data, the names and immigration status of people receiving SNAP aid. This is a federally funded program. So yeah, they can ask you to see the books. If you're taking someone's money, they can say, I want to see the books. So this is nothing scandalous, nothing that should take a whole Senate committee to gather. This is just basic routine accountability. And guess what? You know who actually complied? 28 states. And you know of those 2 states, who's on the list? Oklahoma and Mississippi. Oh, not those states. You should actually try to be like Oklahoma and Mississippi. So if they're so backwards and so incompetent, why are they topping the compliance list while these quote unquote progressive powerhouses can't even respond to an email? Now let's talk about the ones who didn't comply, because this is where it gets cute. Minnesota, New York, and California. Governor Tim Walz, sir, step into the light. Your state didn't answer. And considering everything that's been unearthed so far, because there's a lot more, this is exactly the time to pick up the phone, answer the email, send the files, drop the receipts, something, because you got that shiny little D next to your name. And because of that, it just seems like that, along with the Trump administration making the request, suddenly, you're being hyped up by the brain dead people who put you in office to resist, even though they're the ones getting robbed. I mean, let's be serious. According to Secretary Rollins, the whole point of the data request is to root out fraud. You think everyone would jump on that, right? Why would we want fraud anywhere in our system? Why would we want people who are not entitled to these benefits to take them, to be accepted? But no. The same Democrat states that swear they're the richest, they're the most progressive, they're the most economically superior, the ones that love lecturing everybody else, they turn out to be the ones who sue and block and not respond. California said, we already verify eligibility. They said we don't share large swaths of sensitive data. Okay, that's cool. But if that's your stance, if that's your line in the sand, Sway, then don't take federal money. Raise the tax dollars in your state and fund your own programs. And once you do that, you can create your own rules. You see how that works? If you don't want oversight, you shouldn't want the check either. But they want the money and the immunity, mind you, the bag and the blindfold. It doesn't work like that. Meanwhile, Governor Walz, that house of yours got cars driving by you saying the R word. We'll say the R word for the sake of TikTok. Y'all know what the R word is. And honestly, oh, wait, hold on. We coined a new word. I got a new word tonight in the Savage Patriots live stream. What was it? Tim Tard. So calling you a Timtard. And honestly, that's the least of your problems, because the House Oversight Committee has opened an investigation into what federal prosecutors are describing as the largest COVID-19 fraud scheme in the country. Now, let that sink in, ladies and gentlemen. Not 10, not 3, the largest, the biggest, numero uno. That's not the time you want to be number one. And you know what's the saddest part and the craziest part? It all happened on your watch, bro. Governor Montgomery. This isn't a little paperwork mishap. This is not somebody forged a signature. This is a whole organized network siphoning hundreds of millions of dollars meant to feed low-income children. And it flowed right through a Minnesota nonprofit called Feeding Our Future. Oh, yeah, they're feeding their future, all right. They're feeding their mud huts. That's what they're doing. As of late November of this year, 78 defendants have been charged. And prosecutors say roughly $300 million so far in taxpayer funds were diverted. Governor Walz, that's not an oops. That's not a misunderstanding. That, sir, is a colossal failure. A failure that sits directly on the shoulders of the Walz administration. And the crazy part, the whispers were there for years. Fraud and child care assistance programs go back. These allegations go back to the year 2017, 2018, but everyone was too scared to push it. Why? Because the perpetrators were tied to Somali Minnesotans. No, hell no. Ain't no Somali Minnesotans. The Somalians. When you're a Minnesotan, there's an American or a Minnesota flag hanging up in your house, not a Somalian flag. Yeah. When you run for office, you hang an American flag, not the flag of the country you fled. So no, you're Somalians, not Somali Minnesotans. If you were Minnesotans, we wouldn't see your raggedy flag every time we see your face. Because the perpetrators were tied to Somali Minnesotans. Yes. And nobody wanted to be called racist. So let me tell you something. If you are so terrified of the word racist that you let criminals steal $1 billion from programs meant for vulnerable kids, then you, sir, are not a leader. You're a mannequin. And everyone you appointed is made of the same cheap plastic. This isn't progressive. This isn't inclusive. This isn't justice. This is negligence. Children suffered while grown adults played identity politics. And listen, let me remind y'all of something really quickly. Really quickly. Because this fool, along with Kamala Harris, ran a campaign that was 107 days long. How do we know? Because Kamala Harris wrote a book, Genius, 107 Days. She had almost $2 billion in her war chest. And how after 107 days you end up in a $20 billion deficit? How you $20 million in a hole? $2 billion, 107 days. I can't spend $2 billion in a lifetime. If money management was a sport, Democrats would have been an Olympic team. And these are the same two dummies you wanted to be your president and vice president. Yeah, they can't handle a campaign. They can't handle one state, but you want them to handle all 50. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? They can't balance the budgets of these small things, but you want to trust him with the most complicated economic system on the face of the earth. And so, Mr. Walz, you can't even oversee a budget meant to protect the most vulnerable in your state. You've allowed criminals, including actual terrorists, to steal at least $1 billion from programs meant for disadvantaged kids because you didn't want to look insensitive or racist or problematic. Meanwhile, the kids paid the price. Walz is up for re-election next year, but honestly, I don't even think he should be allowed on the ballot. Not after this. Not after $1 billion plus, because the number's going up every day as more stuff gets uncovered. $1 billion evaporated under his supervision. Governor Walz should be held accountable. Everyone involved should be fired. And the people of Minnesota should be guaranteed in writing that this level of corruption will never, ever, 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 ever happen again. This is not a moment to play politics. This is not a moment for pretty speeches. This is a time for higher standards, for accountability, for results. And let's be clear, calling out a fraud scheme dominated by individuals from one region of the world is not racist. It's called a fact. I know we don't like facts. We like our feelings. You know, you leftists, y'all like your feelings, but facts don't give a damn about your feelings. Fraud does not have a diversity quota. Wrong is wrong. Right is right. Aren't y'all the main one? No one's above the law. Aren't y'all the side of no one's above the law? Oh, no one's above the law until they're a Democrat. Okay, got it. The culture of corruption has to end. And the demand for accountability has to start, not tomorrow, not during the next election cycle, right now. And I want to close with this, ladies and gentlemen. I want to close this segment with this because this tickled me a little bit. Governor Walz was upset. You know, he got a little testy on the mic. Because he said people were driving by his house, calling him the R word. I mean, President Trump used it accurately to describe you. You are, in fact, the R word. And now, thanks to Marlon, you're a Timtard. You are an emphatic Timtard. And to pay homage, I just want to clarify for the sensitive people. You know, I know your nether regions are hurting right now because I just put the smackdown on you. But the word is not meant for people with handicaps. It's meant for non-handicapped people who are stupid. If you don't understand this, you are, in fact, so, what happened on this day in American history?
So what happened on this day in American history?
In 1492, Columbus becomes the first European in Hispaniola. Yes, the island now known as the Dominican Republic and Haiti, marking a major moment in European colonization. In 1776, General George Washington instructs General Lee to bring American troops to Pennsylvania, shaping early Revolutionary War tactics. In 1848, President James K. Polk confirms the discovery of gold, triggering the massive California gold rush. In 1933, the 21st Amendment is ratified, repealing prohibition after 13 years. Alcohol becomes legal again nationwide. In 1952, a U.S. Navy aircraft executes the world's first successful missile intercept, marking a milestone in defense technology. In 1968, The Doors released their hit single Touch Me, which would peak at number 3 and become one of their signature songs. And in 2013, former South African president and anti-apartheid icon Nelson Mandela dies at age 95, sparking global mourning. Now, are we ready for an uncomfortable conversation?
How dare you question the ghost of Charlie Kirk? Are you suggesting that Charlie could have possibly not had good judgment? Am I suggesting that I've maybe watched a lot of hours of IDTV and it seems like, yeah, it's a kind of a common theme that when people die, you should question the people closest to them, actually. Yeah, I am suggesting that it's like a very high percentage of murders that are committed by somebody else that they know. I think it's like north of 95% of murders. And no matter how many adjectives you assign to people at Turning Point USA, we're not going to accept this narrative, okay? We're not going to accept this narrative, especially when you're lying and you won't tell us the relevant portions. Who did he think was going to kill him? Andrew Colvett? Can you tell us, Andrew? Can you tell us, Blake Neff? Can you tell us, Mikey McCoy?
So the clip you just saw, that was from yesterday's episode of Candace Owens' podcast. And I'll say this. We have officially entered the wrath of Candace era. It's irrational. It's all over the place. We don't quite know if she's coming or going. She's clearly not listening to comprehend at this point. And quite frankly, it's just messy. It's chaotic. It's giving scorched earth, but let's turn that scorched earth into content. But let's be real. What used to be this entertaining, borderline conspiracy, high energy, ambitious podcast is now just straight low grade, bottom shelf drama designed to divide, distract, and damn near destroy one of the most powerful youth conservative organizations in America. And I know some of y'all see the theatrics and y'all eat it up. You know, I talked about Candace yesterday in my lunchtime rant, and literally people coming in there and I'm debunking them left and right. What did she say right before she said this, or what she said, whatever they were talking about? Because you always got to listen to comprehend when it comes to people like Candace Owens. Because if you don't listen to comprehend, she will literally pin your ass to the wall. That's the thing. When you deal with a wordsmith, when you deal with somebody that has a legal team correcting their monologues before they read them to you live, yeah, they're definitely I's dotted, T's crossed before they even say a word to make sure legally they can't be pinned to a damn thing. Because I was just asking a question, I was just theorizing. It wasn't really what I never said directly. That's what it was. And we went over several examples. And listen, y'all eat it up. But me, you know, I'm looking like, nah, something ain't right. This ain't about trust. This ain't about truth no more. This is about wrath. But before we get into the current mess, let's rewind. Let's do a little rewind of the career of Candace Owens. You know, so picture it. YouTube, August 2017. This liberal, melanated young woman from Connecticut, nobody in conservative politics knew, pops up with a camera and a fire lit under her. And out of nowhere, boom, red pill black. Remember red pill black? Remember the monologue? Mom, Dad, I'm a conservative. I remember all of that. That was September 2017. Candace launched her whole website and YouTube brand pushing black conservatism. And listen, I'll give credit where credit is due. She was fierce. She was polished. She was bold. She was theatrical. She was the perfect package. She was the perfect representation in terms of being the face of a movement. She was it. She had that I'm not scared of your energy. It was lightning in a bottle. She got on Joe Rogan 2 years into her commentary career. I mean, that's literally unheard of. That's alignment, ambition, and a little bit of destiny sprinkled in. And the mission? I mean, her mission was allegedly to shake the black community, to get them to wake up, get folks to think deeper before stepping into the voting booth. Move us from emotion to substance. Break generational political habits. That was the Candace Owens we were sold. That was the pitch. That was the mission. That was the vision. And people, black, white, conservative, independent, I don't care what your background is, we ate it up. Enter Blexit. This is supposed to be the great exodus of black people from the Democrat Party to the Republican Party. Then came Turning Point USA. This was 2017. She was hired as the director of urban engagement. And then the most amazing thing happened in April 2018. Kanye West tweets, "I love the way Candace Owens thinks." And baby, the internet exploded. A star was born. Oh my gosh. It was only up from there. And out of that moment came Blexit, which was co-founded with Officer Tatum, aka Brandon Tatum. A whole movement telling Black Americans to exit the Democrat Party. Whether you loved it or hated it, you knew the name. But this is where it gets a little bit messy because the original Blexit, the real Blexit, wasn't even hers. It started in Minnesota in 2016. It was literally a grassroots independence organization. It was put together after the killing of Philando Castile. A real community, real people with a real mission. Candace came in with the political version. She rebranded it. She had the marketing power, the lawyers, the budget. She had everything. And boom, the original Blexit got overshadowed. Oh, you go over there in the corner. We got the name now. Now here's the kicker. I went to Blexit.org. Actually, let me show y'all. I went to Blexit.org. And I was very, very surprised. And I'm going to do it live on the air because I don't want anybody thinking that I'm just making this up. I'm talking the talk. I went to Blexit.com. Hold on. I'm going to share the screen. Let me put it up here for y'all. No. Don't. Just do Blexit. I want to do Blexit because I want nobody saying I'm doing a conspiracy here. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds. Boop bit what you got. Let's go over here. Let's do a little duplicate right here. All right. We're going to duplicate that one. We're going to click right there. All right. Boop bip. We're going to go right here. We're going to, yep. We're going to replace you. No. We're not going to replace you with that. We're going to replace you with a screen share. All right. Ba. Oh, wait. What are we doing? All right. There we go. Screen share. Blexit. Share. All right. Bam. Wait. All right. Hey, why you so big though? Pause. Just go back to this. All right, cool. All right. But apparently I'm having a existential crisis right now. Okay, cool. I don't know if y'all can see that, but if you go to the Blexit.com website, so you're like, oh, Blexit, boom. What the fuck is this? Blexit is gone, y'all. Completely wiped off the map. Where is it? This is Turning Point USA Rise. You know when I found out about Turning Point USA Rise? This morning, when I was doing my research, I'm like, oh, Blexit. Oh, what is this? What is this? And then you go to About Rise. And I know April, this April right here, but I don't know the rest of these folks. And so TP USA Rise is the largest minority. So now it's no longer blacks. It's all you minorities. Conservative grassroots movement in the nation. Rise exists to strengthen families, reclaim culture, and restore faith, family, and freedom within minority America. Our mission is to empower community through education, services, and cultural engagement, promoting economic independence, personal responsibility, and a renewed sense of patriotism across the country. But what's so funny is Blexit is still touring. There are still Blexit chapters, but Blexit does not have an official website. So my question is, Blexit still being funded by TPUSA, but they're still just touring as Blexit, although they've been rebranded to Turning Point USA Rise? I got questions. That's all. I'm just asking questions. Don't kill the messenger. Y'all did a whole rebrand. Y'all rebranded on us and we didn't even know it. Oh, geez, Louise, goat cheese and bread. Blexit is gone, absorbed, merged, rebranded, and Candace, she don't work there no more. She happily moved on in the year of our Lord 2019. She abandoned Blexit. I didn't even know she abandoned Blexit that long ago. I didn't even know that. That's when she joined the Daily Wire. She got her own show in 2021, and then we all know what happened in 2024. She got fired after comments, arguments, and everything else that unfolded publicly. We all know the whole kerfuffle with Daily Wire and the Jews and Ben Shapiro and all of that stuff. And since then, Candace has recentered her flame on YouTube. So she came back to YouTube, and she's thriving. I mean, she is up millions of subscribers, high production, clean delivery, financially successful. But here's the question I have, and I'm asking this sincerely. Was the foundation ever honest? Did the mission ever really matter? Or was the mission just the marketing? It was the storefront for a person who wanted a career in something and they wanted to move up in the rankings. Get up in the rankings, guys. Because if your whole purpose was to get black folks off the Democrat plantation, and this has been your mission and your vision since 2017, and in 2024, 92% of black voters chose Kamala Harris, then what the hell are we talking about here? What progress was made? Who actually moved? Where's the impact? Where's the receipts? Where's the results? Where's the fruit? I'll tell you what. Most black people tell me, conservative, liberal, whatever, don't even matter at that point. They often say, she don't speak for us. She's not relatable. She's not approachable. She's not convincing to black people. If you look at the crux of her audience, you will see that. So since abandoning Blexit, she has gone on to, she's clearly changed directions. And it no longer became about helping the black community. And really quickly, let me tell a really quick Blexit story. I think I've told this story before, but I've been to one Blexit rally, and that was in Los Angeles. That was early on in Blexit. That was like I think that was before they even had merch, right? That was right on Blexit. The merch wasn't even on the website. And I went to the Blexit rally, and they were giving out the hoodies and the sweatshirts. So I got a sweatshirt and I put it on. And the one thing I noticed when it was in downtown LA, I forgot the theater's name. I'm walking towards the theater. There's like construction going on in the theater. So it's like the scaffolding out front. And then I see this line of people. Obviously, that's the event I'm going to. Now it's called Blexit, right? So if your goal is to have conversations with the black community about how to exit the Democrat Party, you would expect that when you showed up to this event, there would be an astronomical number of black people here, right? No, wrong. There wasn't. Not that other people can't be there or shouldn't be there, but if you say your mission and your vision is X, but X ain't there to hear it, how are you going to be effective? Oh, online? Well, they ain't watching it there either. So it was always very peculiar. And then I know a couple of people who did speaking engagements with Blexit, and I would ask them, you don't look out and see the audience, and you don't see that the people you're supposed to be motivating and inspiring and moving the needle for, they're not here. You don't notice that? Now, I don't know the logistics of putting together these tours. I really don't care. But I can only tell you what I've witnessed, right? And so if you're preaching to the choir, because essentially black people like me who showed up were already conservatives or already not Democrats, so it didn't even matter. You're not telling me anything I don't know already, right? I did bring a couple of friends. I brought a couple of friends to the event, and like they were liberals. They didn't care. And one way or the other. They just supporting their friend. They didn't care. But anyway, so how can you crown yourself the assigned leader of black conservative thought when the demographic itself barely claims you? It's compelling, isn't it? It's confusing. It's giving brand first, mission second. But let's get to the warpath, because this is the wrath. Charlie Kirk was murdered on September 10th, 2025. We all saw it. We don't need to recap it. We all know what happened. The entire world, the conservative world, the liberal world, whatever, if you had a heart, you really understood that this was just wrong and should have never happened, right? The conservative world in particular, we were in shock. We were sitting there like, yo, I can't believe this happened. I cannot believe we witnessed this in 2025 America. We can't just have the discourse. We can't just talk. Meanwhile, that was Charlie's whole mission. He said, once we stop talking, that's when violence starts, because we're busy and we're in our corners assuming, right? That's like when you stop talking to a friend or something and all you're doing is assuming. You're assuming. Brazil, thank you for proving my point. Anyway. Yeah, they're lost. Just let them go. Anyway, moving on. And, people were rightfully shocked, right? But from day one of the investigation, Candace has been on a mission. Loud, relentless, dramatic mission. To assign guilt, spread theories, hint at conspiracies, and accuse damn near everybody except the person publicly named by the authorities. She has thrown so many accusations into the wind, it's hard to keep track. And that's clearly, when people do that, that's what they're banking on. That's what they want you to do. Turning Point betrayed Charlie. Trump appointees did something shady. Countries, agencies, shadow figures, people in hoodies, and always this looming idea that they're coming for her next. I'm sorry, if I know that the France is trying to kill me, I'm not going to be at Dollywood the week of Thanksgiving, and I'm not going to be at a party with Tucker Carlson that same week. I'm just not going to do it. We good. They trying to blow me away. I don't have Secret Service level. I'm sure she has good security, but you ain't got like Secret Service level security. But when you strip away the theatrics, what do you actually have? A lot of vibes and very little evidence. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is dangerous, because this isn't a celebrity beef. This isn't Rihanna versus whoever. This is blah, blah, blah. It isn't these people. This is a murder investigation. This is serious business here. This is not something to be taken lightly. Turning Point USA finally responded. They said, yo, we sick of your mess. They responded. They called her out. They challenged her claims. They offered her a day and time to come to their studio in Phoenix to discuss everything publicly. They never said, we're going to work around your schedule, Candace. They never said, tell us when you're free, Candace. They said, we're going to pick the day and time, and you tell us if you're available. You also then responded on your podcast and said, the day and time, you tell me whatever day and time it is. We could do it tomorrow if you want to. Your words. Your words. Not somebody else's. Nobody's making that up. Those were your words.
You can pick the place, you can pick the time. Turning Point USA decided it was a good time to issue a confirmation plus an ultimatum, a time and a date. Say we do it tomorrow. We don't need to plan for this. We don't need lawyers in between us, lawyer statements. It's not how I roll. I should tell you that they did not send me an email. They did not send me a text message. They did not coordinate anything with me. They simply made this midnight announcement and gave it a countdown. You can pick the place, you can pick the time. I say we do it tomorrow. We don't need to plan for this. We don't need lawyers in between us, lawyer statements. It's not how I roll.
So now the kerfuffle is, You posted it at midnight, and you gave me 24 hours to respond, and that's a lot. This was the showdown you've been begging for, Candace. You've been begging for this moment. You've been poking the bear. And then what happened? You tried to moonwalk right out the frame, baby. Suddenly, nobody consulted me. They picked the time that I do my podcast. I can't make it in person, but I can do it virtual. No, they made it very clear. If you listen to I forgot homeboy's name, but if you listen to him, he literally says in studio. He doesn't say virtually. Because you know why they want you in studio, Candace? Because they need to see your body language. They need to know you're not being fed information by your producer. Mm-hmm. And there's a humanity to it when you're face to face because you're in 3D. You're looking somebody right in their eye. Yeah. This is one of those occasions where you need that. You need that humanity. I need to look in your eyes and tell you you're full of crap. I need to look in your eyes and tell you keep effing around. I'm going to need to look in your eyes and tell that to you. And then you can ask me anything you want. Any conspiracy, any rabbit hole you want to go down, sure, let's do it. But before we do that, we going to have this conversation. And then once we had this conversation, we could do whatever you want after that. Because Turning Point, I don't believe Turning Point had anything to do with Charlie's death. I don't think they did. There's no part of me that ever believes that. Again, this is the wrath of Candace Owens. There's something that happened between her and that organization, and I'm speculating here. Something that happened between her and that organization. Obviously, Blexit is one of those things, which is now We Rise. But yeah, all of this moonwalking and backtracking, and you didn't say this and you said that, and literally people are using your words. You said pick the time, pick the place. We could do it tomorrow. Your words, not me making it up, not anybody else making it up. Put your big girl panties on, get on that plane and go to Phoenix. And then I saw that you dropped a Rare Friday podcast because you don't usually do a live show on Friday, but you did one today, literally talking about your husband runs the household. And he said, no, you can't make it on Monday. You said pick the time and the place. You'll be there. You said anytime, any place, pick it. You'll be there. That is your words. So now all of a sudden, no, he didn't say it was going to be in person. Literally, we played back homeboy's words, and that's what he said in studio. And then he explained today why he wants it in studio. He didn't say it the way I said it. He has to say it all diplomatic and very corporate, but I don't, because I don't work for Turning Point. I don't work for anybody. So he made it very clear why he wanted you there in the studio. And then the other stipulation is Erica going to be there? We never said Erica was going to be there. That was never a part of the deal. Erica was never part of the deal. The only thing we said is you're going to talk to us. Whoever those head honchos, all these people you've made accusations, they all going to be sitting there. And the way you whack for 3 months, you should be able to do it right in their face. See, the showing and approving comes when it's time to step up. The showing and approving isn't when you running your mouth in your podcast in your little safe space. No. We don't need a producer feeding you questions or feeding you history or whatever. No. Get up here and say it with your whole chest. You've been barking for almost 3 months. The bear you've been poking has finally stood up, and now you want to bitch about logistics. Candace, no. You've made plenty of money on all of this post-Charlie drama. You can take one day off from your podcast and go state your claims to the people you're accusing. If you really think Turning Point betrayed Charlie, if you really think this is deeper than what investigators are telling us, if you really believe that you're fighting for the truth, then why are you running now? Why hide behind a why hide behind a live stream? Why react instead of engage with the actual people you're accusing? Why talk around them instead of to them? Because this isn't the behavior of someone who's seeking justice. I'm sorry, you've been asking for this for months. This is the behavior of someone who's seeking super chats, drama, and more virality. This is keeping my names in the headlines. So let me be crystal clear on this. Candace Owens is not trying to solve a murder. She's trying to dominate the news cycle, and she's doing a damn good job at it. If she had hard evidence, she would show it. If she wanted accountability, she would meet her accusers face to face. If she wanted clarity, she would talk to the organization she keeps naming. Instead, she's choosing the safest battlefield. Her live stream, her own audience, her own rules, her own chat donations. Ladies and gentlemen, that's not bravery. That's branding. Candace, if you truly cared about Charlie, if you truly cared about the truth, if you truly cared about what you're saying, show up. Sit down, have the conversation, because the rest of us, the part of the public that doesn't worship you, we're tired. We're tired of watching you throw things at the wall to see what sticks. We're tired of the conspiracies. We're tired of everything being thrown at the wall with no follow through. We're tired of the drama overshadowing real issues that matter in Americans' lives right now. If your theories are solid, prove them in the room. If your evidence is real, bring them to the table. And if all of this has just been content, please just say that. But don't weaponize tragedy for views. Don't let wrath masquerade as righteousness, and don't run from the fight you spent months demanding. The truth don't hide. So why are you? Oh, we'll wait and we'll see what you actually do on Monday. We'll see. We'll see. And you got a whole week to figure it out. They said the 15th, right? December 15th. So December 15th, you got a little bit of time. Yeah, you got time to figure it out. So hopefully you will come to your senses and not listen to your public. Because if your public really wanted the answers that they say they do, that's the way you get them, by showing up in 3D. You can have a notepad. You can have pre-prepared questions. You can have your notes written down. Nobody's saying none of that. But show up. Pull up. All right, cool. Well, that's my uncomfortable conversation. Now, let's move along and have a little fun. This is our Turntable Rewind. Woo! Rewind! Boy, oh boy. You can tell I don't have a producer here tonight, right? Because all of these transitions are jacked up. I'm like, what is going on here, bro? Anyway, rewind back to the time. The year is 2007, and the number one song in the country is Kiss Kiss by one of my favorite artists, Chris Brown. Chris Brown's Kiss Kiss featuring T-Pain was the number one song on the Billboard charts on the Hot 100, driven by its up-tempo beat, catchy hooks, and T-Pain's signature auto-tune production. The track became a nationwide anthem. It represented the peak of the late 2000s hip-hop R&B fusion, dominating radio clubs and music video countdowns. The song marked a major career milestone for both artists as they continue to define the sound of an era. And the number one album on this day in the year 2007 was the Eagles' Long Road Out of Eden. The Eagles held the top spot with Long Road Out of Eden, their first full studio album in nearly 3 decades. The project was a massive commercial moment, debuting at number one, going platinum almost instantly, and proving that the band still had cultural pull after their prime. Blending rock, country, and introspective storytelling, the album explored themes of aging, politics, and the American experience, reminding listeners that legacy acts could still dominate the charts in the digital era. In the US, Long Road Out of Eden sold about 3.5 million copies. The album was certified 7 times platinum by the RIAA, reflecting those shipments and sales. And the number one movie in the country on this day, of course, I did not see this movie because AJ doesn't really watch movies like that. Funny, you're an actor who doesn't watch movies. Anyway, the number one movie at the box office was Enchanted, starring Amy Adams in a breakout performance. The film creatively blended animated fairy tale tropes with live action comedy, following a princess who gets transported from a storybook world into modern day New York City. Its humor, music, and heartfelt charm resonated with both children and adults, turning it into a holiday season hit and cementing Amy Adams as the lead star. Now, generally, we have a throwback story here, but we don't have one of those today because I knew that Candace Owens segment was going to bleed. I knew I was going to need time to cook, and thank you for allowing me to do that. I promise you we'll have a more expansive turntable rewind next week. Anyway, where are we? And now it's time for an AJ throwback. All right, who's this sexy thing right here? That's me. That was my first headshot ever, and I love it. I love the hair. I love the expression. I love the goatee. Yeah, that's me. That's Hollywood. That's me in Hollywood. Have a little fun, live a little. Anyway, that's all. Since I've been accused of admiring myself so much, I'm not gonna spend a lot of time gloating over my image. All right, maybe a little bit. Okay. This was I know Noel remembers this shoot because it was part of the dance company. We had a shoot, and then we had individual portraits, and then we had group portraits, and this was one of my individual portraits, which turned out to be one of my first headshots. Pretty dope. I like it. And it is what it is. Anyway, man, I can't say it until I can see it. Oh, there we go. Man, leave me alone.
Don't just leave me alone.
Ryan Cole Jr., a 30-year-old white man from the D.C. suburbs, is charged with transporting an explosive device in interstate commerce and with malicious destruction.
Be pissing me off when they be acting like pretty girls can't get cheated on. I got cheated on, and at least the lady he cheated on her with look half decent. My husband cheated on me with a lady with Down syndrome, and it wasn't the fact. It wasn't the fact that she had Down syndrome.
I'm going to hell.
And come in here and pay me, and then you can talk to us all kind of way you want to, bro. The fuck?
I can talk to you however the hell
No,
I
you
want.
cannot.
Come back to your damn country if you want to act like that.
Back to the... You just told me to go back to my country?
Yes, I did say that.
Bitch, I saw your fucking EBT card in there. Guess who?
So what?
Guess who paid for that motherfucking shit?
what?
I did.
He definitely black people. He grew up around black people.
There's about.
Now say hello to Bachelor number 3, Steve Big Bun.
You guys got a Jim Carrey joke.
What you doing? Speed tap that button. He trying to get in. Excuse me. He trying to get off. Can't fit. Oh, shit. Yeah. Man, come on. Bro, just take the stairs, bro. You're too big. You ain't gonna be able. What's the capacity level on it? The capacity level at a stack. I can fit right there. It's a full house. You ain't gonna be able to fit on this bitch. If you get on this bitch, I'm telling you, the light's gonna get the flicker. Boy, for real, it's not gonna be. You said what? Yeah, we came into agreement that you ain't gonna be able to fit. Just get back, man. Hey, come on. Help! Hey, come on, man. Stop, man. Come on, man. I'm claustrophobic. I'm telling you, bro. If you get on this bitch, it's gonna feel like the demon drop. Come on, man. Watch out, man. Please. I can't breathe. Oh my God.
Yo. You know why that's so funny to me? Because that's literally my inner monologue. That's my inner monologue when I'm on an elevator with a lot of people. And we be just fine. And here come Big Bone. Always Big Bone. Hey, hold the elevator. No, I don't want to hold it.
Did you hear about our basketball game? No, what happened? We lost again. I'm sorry. We lost to a Christian homeschool. Okay, well, all because they cheated. They cheated? Yes, they cheated. How did they cheat? They had Jesus on their team. Okay, so I can guard Joey all day, but you know who I can't guard? Okay, I think you need... Okay, at this point, every time a player got hurt, he was fine the next play. Well, that's a good thing. I think Jesus was healing them. Do you understand he was hiding under the bleachers, just laying his hands on them so they would be fine? You really need to... Their cheerleaders over there like, we got school spirit. I'm like, yeah, you also have the Holy Spirit. They had cheer. Over there praying, the Lord is my shepherd. Yeah, he's also your shooting guard. So I don't know what they were praying for. Listen to me. I'm assuming points because they scored 84 of them. You're making excuses. And then Joey was all like, we beat you. I'm like, you ain't beat us. Well, you know, kids. He beat us. Actually, they Jesus may love all the little children of the world, but he also loves the hoop. You guys lost and he's good. You're ridiculous. Real good. Listen to God might have created the heavens and the earth on day one, but on day two, he shot some foul shots. I promise you that. You can't be a sore. Chad said he heard the coach say after the game, I want to thank God. So that right there tells you that they were planning something sneaky with him.
Who is it? Who is it?
Nigga took your chin from the side. You about to lay down in the sky. You let a nigga chip your mandible from the side with some Dr. Doofenshmirtz 3000s on in front of the premises. Lock him up. Cause you should have never let a nigga.
Oh, he saw you just do. Oh,
just take that ass home. Yeah. You let a nigga stiff arm you in some hot waters. You're done.
You know the current climate that we are in. Who did you vote for in the 2024 election?
you know, put me out there. Are you some type of culprit or what's going on?
Answer the question.
Okay. Trump.
Yuck! I know you smell like Turkish blend cigarettes and bacon. Why your cellulite looks so hard in your arms? Then your skirt bad, Bill. How you get the SpongeBob SquarePants to stay like that, like rectangle shape ass skirt? Everything about you bad. Whatever you don't like, I love.
Oh God! Wait a minute! I forgot one. Hold on. You're gonna love it. Hold on. I've never done this before. I've never added a leave me alone in the middle of the show. But hold on. You're gonna love this. You're gonna love it. Where did it go? It disappeared. Hold on. Wait, I'm gonna get it. Give me 2 seconds, y'all. Give me 2 seconds. Oh, I didn't. Oh, save video. Boom. Save to your photos. Boo bit what you got. All right. Now I'm wait, is that it? No, that's not it. Is it? Oh, there it is. Recently saved. There we go. Let's send it over to the MacBook. Thank you. All right. Now we're gonna drop this in here. Where is it? You're gonna love this. You're really gonna love this. It's gonna be fabulous. You know, this is to my, my brothers and sisters in Islam. I appreciate y'all. Hold on. How do I do this? Hold on. Yeah, all right, there we go. Boop it, local video. Where did it go? Downloads. All right. Bam. Enjoy. All right. Let's move along. You Islamophobes. Oh, y'all so phobic. Oh God. Anyway, thank you, Musties. Let's land at our inspiration point.
"13-year-old Jaquan Faulkner started a hot dog stand called Mr. Faulkner's Old-Fashioned Hot Dogs outside his home in Minneapolis. He started his stand with hopes of making enough money to buy school clothes. He sold hot dogs for $2 and chips and sodas for $1. But then someone, who is apparently a very sad and pathetic individual, decided that instead of showing some support and helping this young man in his journey, they decided to go completely in the other direction and reported him to the Minneapolis Health Department. Luckily, the people at the health department who received the complaint were not like this other person. And even though Jaquan's stand was technically in violation, they did not shut him down. Instead, they equipped him with thermometers, food containers, hand sanitizer, and utensil cleaning stations. They also offered guidance on proper food handling, and even covered the $87 cost for a short-term food permit. When word of all this began to spread, people started showing up to show their support, and his little business began to flourish. He began selling between 100 and 150 hot dogs per day. Jaquan said, "My auntie told me, nobody can stop you but you."
Now it's time for some shout-outs. Shout out to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for always holding me down, through whom which all of my blessings flow. Shout out to the production team for always keeping it solid. Major shout out to the RANT fam. Thank y'all so much for always supporting the live streams, the content, for always showing up when I need y'all. And once again, please make sure you like, share, comment, and if you're new here and you like what you saw, please subscribe and hit that notification bell so you'll get notified every time we go live or drop a new video. If you would like to monetarily support the channel, you can always go to AJsRANTroom.com and drop some of your hard-earned cash on our merch. We also take offerings in the virtual collection plate. Now, to some of you, this might be just another podcast, but to me, it's my next chapter and purpose, and I thank you for lending me some of your time. You could be anywhere in the world right now, but you chose to give me a few moments of your day, and for that, I'm grateful. And with that said, I'm out.